G'day everybody. Today's guest is Julie Watson from Stronger Than My Excuses. Now, you can't see it today, but Julie has a very distinctive pink t-shirt that has Stronger Than My Excuses on it. And I saw her speak at the Small Business Network group meeting last month up here at the Nexus Hub at Wyong, where we're filming today. And I was so impressed with her presentation, with her story, I knew that she had to appear on the next episode of Words from the Scribe. So here she is herself, Julie Watson. Thanks for sitting down with us today, Julie.
Thank you for having me.
It's all right. Now, just for the people at home, Julie, just tell us a little bit about what you do and how you help people.
Okay, so I help people through basically just a series of presentations, and I have a vlog series as well. I write an article for the Wyong Regional Chamber of Commerce, the Northern Voice, and I'm about to start a web TV show, so it's really exciting. We want to try and get out there and help as many people as possible, particularly in small to medium business. You would know, you talk to people all the time in business, and they struggle. People struggle. They get to a stage where they think they can start this great business, and it's all very exciting and entrepreneurial in the beginning, and they have the technical skills because they know their product or their service really well, but they don't always know about running a business. But the big thing that stops them is their own fears and doubts. So where I come into it is talking to people about how they can find their own inspiration, how they can stop their brain from interfering with fears and doubts and overcome that and become stronger than their excuses. So that's where I'm coming from. My angle is not about strategy in business. Other people can teach them that, but I try to help them overcome those hurdles that are making them procrastinate and stopping them from taking action.
Of course, yeah. No, it's it actually ties in really well, Julie. For those of you at home, you might have seen a recent article of mine where I talked about the YouTube Red series Cobra Kai. If you haven't seen that, I'll include that in the comment section. But in that article, Julie, I just talk about this TV series, and it talks about it's this fictional dojo from the Karate Kid, and the motto is strike first, strike hard, and no mercy. And I talk about how on the surface it sounds like the bad guy's code of conduct, but it's actually encouraging people to take action,
Take the action,
go all in, and unless there's a massive red flag that comes up, don't see, just go all in.
don't stop.
Yeah, yes. And so it was very timely when you got up and you spoke last month, and you just talked about your own story, and I'm wondering if you could share a little bit about that with us now.
Yes, before I do, it's amazing how when you put it that way, the importance of repetition of learning, because you said it that way, I will say it a different way, and by the time someone has heard what you say, what I say, and we could say it, they could hear us over and over and still get something different out of it every time. Then listening to 10 other people talking about the same thing, taking action, and just diving in, no matter, it doesn't have to be perfect, and then just going for it and not stopping. Do not stop, because if you don't stop, you will succeed.
Yeah.
And that is just amazing that you came up with a completely new analogy that I've never heard before, which I love. So, but look, when my story is that I was on a dialysis machine when I was in my 20s. For 5 years, I had, lots of surgeries and needles and 32 admissions to RPA, and it was a terrible time in my life. And it wasn't until, and it was going through all of that, and that was what my article was about. When I found my own article and inspired myself to take action, I realised that, it's taking action and being confident that gets your goals.
That's it.
Whereas back then, when I was overcoming adversity, I was using positivity. And it took me a long time to realise the difference between being positive and being confident. Both are great, but positivity gets you through adversity, but confidence achieves your goals. Big difference.
Absolutely.
And I never knew the difference until I read an article that I wrote myself, which was very inspiring, about how when I was on dialysis, I actually ran a business. I was a surf lifesaver. I was a soccer mum, and I was in the soccer club committee. I was the social director. I was doing all these things, playing netball, trying to be normal. And so I was achieving things through being positive and overcoming my adversities, running a small business the entire time. And yet I knew I wasn't achieving the goals that I wanted to achieve. And then finally, later in life, I found out that confidence could be learnt. It's not something you're born with.
That's right. Oh.
Everyone learns it. You either learn it from your parents or you learn it later in life, but you can learn it. And it's amazing when you start to learn it, what a difference it makes to your life. So
that's right. I mean, we talk about people who are maybe passive or people who are action takers and proactive, but you're absolutely right. Like, nobody's born with that, with those qualities. They're all qualities that you develop later on, and it's based on your influences, based on your upbringing and all of that. But like I said, that's why I love just the message stronger than my excuses, because it's so easy. And again, I think I sent you a link to some articles I wrote,
yes.
two-part article, yeah, and it just fit in so well with that. Yeah. And in the article, again, I'll provide that link for you too. I wrote a two-part article recently titled 7 Toxic People Who Are Holding You Back from Success. It was, or words to that effect, but what I talk about is I go into the 7 different toxic personality types that are a massive anchor on your ambitions and on any hopes that you have for success. But one of those archetypes that I talk about, one of those negative archetypes, was the professional victim. And what I love about the message of what you're doing is, again, that people come from all different circumstances. They have all kinds of problems, as you found yourself in. But you have to say, well, this was my story, but I'm not gonna let this dictate the rest of my life and become a story of what could have been or should have been. I'm not going to blame other people. It all starts with me, and that's how you help people, if I'm right.
That's exactly how I help people. So it's difficult when it's people that you know, because you want to keep your friendships and telling people you're just making excuses. Look, there are genuine reasons that things happen, and you know what? It's always going to happen. There's always going to be something. People you know are going to die. Things are going to happen to you that are outside of your, you can't do anything about stopping them, but what you can do is react. You choose how you react.
That's right.
So when something happens to you, and sometimes a lot of things happen, and you can be really low, but as long as you start to try and be stronger than your excuses whenever you hear yourself using an excuse, and you can take some steps to actually overcome that, then you gradually find that as you're coming out of that, you may drop down, you may have something else happen to you, or you may have a bad thought or a bad moment. But as long as you never give up, I love the shirt, then you'll find that each time you come back up, you get higher, and each time you drop down, it's not as low and it's not as often. And eventually you just start heading in the right direction, and things will work for you, because they can't not. Momentum starts to build. And quite often, one of the things I talk to people is about leaning into their goals. So I used to put my goals out there and say, and look at it all the time and constantly do these affirmations and things. And I found that really wasn't for me, because then I was always thinking, I haven't achieved my goals yet, and my life isn't good enough yet. So now I'm grateful for what I've got. I always know that there's people worse off than me, so that makes me feel, when something bad happens to me, there's plenty of people worse off. I can still have a running hot shower in the morning. Yeah. That's all I need to know is I'm grateful for that. And then I go ahead and say, well, I know what my goal is. In the morning I think about it, then I just put it aside and go about my day, but making sure that there is at least one thing on my list towards my goal. If that's a holiday or something I want that's really fun, and something on my list towards an action that I need to take towards achieving it. So my goal might be to have a holiday, so I'll look up the website, or I'll talk to someone about who wants to come with me, or I'll work towards that. And then the other thing is laying the bricks towards achieving the things I want to do. Look, I want to be speaking professionally by next year. Yeah. So I am ringing people up in America that I know. I've got a few people that I can connect with. I'm ringing local places around here, so I can speak at smaller groups, Rotary clubs, or anything, to practice my speech, to hone my skills, to get better and better at what I'm doing. So every day I'm ringing someone, or I'm going somewhere, or I'm emailing people, or I'm doing something towards building my profile. And it's just laying those bricks. And what's happening is momentum is just carrying me through now. and it gets really scary, but you turn that fear, which is exactly the same emotion as excitement in your body. So you get the butterflies, you get the sweaty armpits, you get the sweaty palms, but then you just go, this is actually exciting.
The transmutation of fear. Yeah. The transmutation of fear.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And you just can't stop. You keep going and going and going, and things happen, momentum happens. People start looking at you differently. People start connecting you with new people. It's incredible.
Well, yeah, it's like the Nike slogan, just do it.
Absolutely.
Just go out and do it. So, yeah, you talk about the attitude of gratitude and that sort of stuff, Julie, but I'm wondering, since you've had the business started, what would you say has been the biggest lesson that you've learned, or the biggest aha moment that you've had, if there is one that stands out?
I think when I decided to really take control.
Okay.
I think I was in a relationship, and it wasn't awful, but it was not doing me any. It was the wrong person. It wasn't doing me any fun. I had to leave that relationship for my own sanity, and I finally one day just said, "This is only you can make this decision. You can't. No one else can break up with this person." And it was a really hard thing to do. And then I went, what would I do? Where will I go? How will I live my life? And I just went, you have to take control. And I actually started then looking for videos on YouTube on positive thinking and moving ahead and achieving goals. And that's when I saw The Secret, and I watched The Secret over 100 times. Now, that sounds stupid, but repetition of learning. Every time I watched it, I saw something, or something else took my attention, because now, 6 months later, I'm hearing something that didn't affect me 6 months ago, but now, through the circumstances of my life changing, it means more to me now.
It's interesting.
It was amazing.
I don't mean to cut you off, but it's just interesting you mentioned The Secret. I think, I'm familiar with the idea of your thoughts attracting circumstances, people into your life. I remember my light bulb moment in that regard was when I was probably 12 or 13, and I found this, like, my parents had a lot of books, and there was this book by an author by the name of Andrew Matthews. He used to write these sort of self-help books and had these cute illustrations in it, because he was a cartoonist as well. But it was a book called Being Happy, and there was this whole chapter in there talking about how your thoughts attract certain things. I was only about 12 or 13 at the time, but I just kind of was reading it. I'm like,
great book to read at that age.
That's really interesting, and it always stuck with me after that. Like, and you hear people's negative talk, like, oh, don't stuff it up, or don't. And, I'd like to say that I fully grasped it at that age, but I didn't. There was trial and error, and error. But again, the whole idea, just because I might think about sitting on $1 million right now, doesn't mean it's going to happen straight away. But if you gear your mind towards certain things, as you know, if you gear your mind towards certain things, and instead of spending your whole life, and Tony Robbins talks about this, instead of being one of these people who just looks to avoid pain, but chase your dreams instead of try to avoid pain, you're much more likely to attract situations that you want to be in, than get into situations that you don't want to be in, just because of how often you think about it. Because
I think some people think it's a bit airy-fairy, the law of attraction and things like that. But if you are concentrating on something enough, so I was always told a similar thing, don't tell your kids, don't climb that tree, you'll fall down.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to fall down, because all they're thinking about is falling down, and they're scared, and so they're worried, and things don't go as well when you're worried. Their palms get sweaty, they're nervous. If you say to them, if you climb that tree, hang on really tight, because it'll be fun, then they climb that tree with confidence, they hang on tighter, they're better at it. It's just as simple as that with everything you do. So the law of attraction it's not sort of some weirdo out there thing. It's just what happens. It's like cognitive bias. So if I looked online for a car, I saw a red Mazda for sale, and so I'd never paid attention to red Mazdas ever before. But it was another 4 or 5 days before I could go and see it in Newcastle. So for the next 4 or 5 days, of course, someone put red Mazdas all over the road.
Exactly.
And they were everywhere. And I didn't see any blue Fords or white Holdens.
No.
I only saw red Mazdas. And that is the law of attraction in action.
Yeah.
What you want and what you focus on, you start to see more of. Same with connecting.
And it's what you start to work towards
yes.
as well, and that's the important part. I swear by the work element as well, but the work has to underpin something, and that is the something that you want to be working towards. Absolutely.
Right. Yeah.
So, I'm just wondering, Julie, who would you say is your ideal client? Who would you most like to be working with? Who are the people, if they're watching this, if you're watching this, they should be giving you a call or sending you an email?
Okay, so Google, head office, if you're out there, call me. I do have some connections there. But no, look, small to medium business, but large business as well. But at the moment, I like working with small to medium business because you hear that 80% of small to medium business fail in the first couple of years, and you think, why? Why do they think it's going to work so well and then they're not? It's not because they can't Google how to do what they're trying to do. There's all the information is out there, but something in their head is stopping them from progressing. And I do believe that it's not their skills. They might need a little bit of skills in running a business or doing their book work or whatever, but generally there's something in their head holding them back. And they don't even think of it as a fear or a doubt. They're procrastinating, they're putting stuff off, the hard phone calls, and they just go off and make another coffee and they're just putting that off, and then they start going, oh, maybe this isn't for me, business shuts down. So if they can just push through, it's just those minuscule decisions that they're making on a daily basis. If you change that, they say that the difference between huge success and someone who's not successful is just 5%.
That's
5% difference in the amount of action that they're taking. It's not a lot.
No.
So instead of saying, oh, I'll do that hard phone call, I need to make some sales calls, I'll do them tomorrow. Do them now. They're taking the action. And I try to teach some tools that people can actually use so that they will take action.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
So if that's you, or if you know someone who's like that, Julie is the person that you want to be getting in contact with ASAP. Now, just for anybody else watching, Julie, what would you say would perhaps your 3 biggest takeaway points from today's video? Three biggest action points
that people could take and use?
Yes.
Okay, so first of all, when you hear yourself making an excuse or saying, I should do this or I shouldn't do that, I'm going to use an example. So I should go for a walk. Now, straight away, it's been proven, scientifically proven, that your brain will try to talk you out of it because you're sitting in a comfortable chair. It's sitting in your habit zone. You want to stay in your comfort zone. Straight away, you will talk yourself out of it. Within 5 seconds, you've got 5 seconds to take action, so to seize the moment. So Mel Robbins teaches the 5-second rule, but whichever way you want to do it, if you count backwards, it's cognitively bringing your brain round to the prefrontal cortex. So that will help you get away from the old habit. But if you just take, in the first 5 seconds, move. So if you say, I should go for a walk, think about it. Straight away, you can think to yourself, I won't go for a walk, but I'll stand up. When you stand up, you've physically moved.
That's it.
And 80% of the time, you will continue and go on that walk. So there's still the 20%, but it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
So if you can count backwards, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, then get up and move, fantastic. But whatever you do, move. Change your physical state. So if you go to the fridge, you're on a diet, and you go to the fridge, you open up, and there's that chocolate. Straight away say to yourself, move away from the chocolate, and then decide, I'll just eat a carrot. Open it up and munch on the carrot. 80% of the time when you think about it straight away and change your mind and take a physical action by shutting the fridge and going get a dry biscuit or get something horrible. Who would do that? But anyway, but if you take physical action, make that sales call straight away, then 80% of the time you'll follow through. So physical action straight away. Another one is to make sure that on your to-do list every day you have something for yourself and something towards your actions that you want, something you really big that you want to achieve that day. The rest can wait if it has to, but make sure you do those 2 things every day. Mm-hmm. A third thing, I do visualization, and
Good one, yeah.
as I haven't probably said it, but until I understood the science behind it, I never did it. I knew about it for 30 years. I'd heard about it over and over and over and over, but no one ever told me the science behind it. And now I understand it. I probably can't go into it now, but it really is so effective that your brain starts to think that it's done it before. When you think of something, really close your eyes and imagine you're doing it to the point where you're feeling it. Driving your new car or getting on stage and speaking, I picture that I'm in the States and people are clapping. I picture the outcome. I only take 3 minutes out of my day. If you can't find that much time, there's something wrong.
Yeah.
I do that, and then I almost feel like I can just get on that stage and do it already. But I picture that every day, so it's visualising my goal, so that when it starts to come to the time to do it, it's my mind will just go, yeah, you've done this, you've got this. So, yeah, it's another.
Fantastic. So there's three
Hopefully
action. Yeah, 3 helpful action points that, courtesy of Julie, you can start working on today. Now, is there anybody that you'd like to give a shout out to, Julie?
Everybody.
Everybody.
Hello to all of my family and friends and my business colleagues. I've got a big networking community on the Central Coast that I know quite a few people, and I've been networking for over 20 years on the Central Coast. So I've become friends with some of them. Some of them helped me in my council election campaign 2 years ago when I ran for council. One of them I went overseas with last year. I worked from Croatia for 3 months last year, and I wasn't quite ready to go until I rang a lady I knew through networking. Not that I see her all the time, but we're in touch. I said, are you still single? Yes. Are you working remotely doing your bookkeeping? Yes. Want to do it from Croatia? Okay.
Why
so
not?
Off we went. We worked in Croatia for 3 months last
Yeah.
year. All part of me becoming stronger than my excuses, and she did the same. So amazing, yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, so for people at home, what's the best way to get in touch with you, Julie? Websites or send you an email?
My
phone
Facebook
call?
page, Stronger Than My Excuses. It should come up straight away with a picture of me in my pink t-shirt. If it doesn't, you can type that in with my name after it. But I really only have the Facebook page at this stage, because what I've done is just jumped in and started. I started making vlogs. I started the Facebook page. I don't even have a website, and I'm starting this crazy business and starting a web TV show called The Stronger Than My Excuses Show.
Yeah.
It's a panel of 5 people every week for 8 weeks. So it starts on the 14th of October. May as well get that out there as well. And but people can contact me mainly through Facebook at the moment.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right, so Stronger Than My Excuses, the Facebook page. Look for the unforgettable pink t-shirt. I want to thank you for joining us this afternoon, Julie. So I'll provide all the links there, all links to the articles that we've talked about, as well as Julie's Facebook page. Apart from that, that's a wrap on Words for the Scribe. I don't know who we'll be talking to next, but I want to thank Julie for your time today.
Thank you.
And we'll talk to you all again soon. Until next time, catch you later.
Thank you.